Instead of us having 2 rooms, we have 3, and we're not all squished together.
We have like much more room than our old room because we were like all crowded together.
There's more room, you get to see new teachers and new students.
We got 3 groups, and we got Miss Brant, Miss Shatanis, and Miss Seba. So like that's how we can all split it, so we don't we're not in a big one group. Also be like a big hassle.
The Learning Suite to us is a place where we can have an entire grade level of students in one area and support them throughout their day, in and out of small groups, in and out of like student need groups to diverse student need groups. And it's a way to meet everyone's needs throughout the day.
And from an EL teacher standpoint, in a different setting, I have to continue to pull students out, and I just love being a part of this community. When I'm in the room, I can teach my students at a table and be a part of the classroom, and also help other students while I'm here. So I really like that part.
And I think the nice part of the Learning Suite too is that we're able to keep kids in here and meet their needs within the classroom. And it's just been nice to be able to collaborate with each other, and the communication between each other is great so that we have all 3rd graders with the same goals in mind.
Welcome to the Learning Suite at Sumner Elementary. I'm going to take you on a quick little tour. We are on our shared reading and smaller reading, so I'll let you know what each of the groups are doing and the teachers are doing. So we'll start over here. We have 3 learning areas. This is mine. It's also shared with other intervention teachers. So as you can see, these students are writing. They're able to use our Smartboard organization to know where they need to be if they need to be in small groups.
Instead of us having them all of us together, like all 32 kids in one class, because Miss Brands has 32 kids, it would kind of be hard to go to each person, one by one. I do like learning with Miss Shatanis.
I think it's just also the kids are able to collaborate more. There's a lot more kids in here, so they're able to do new grouping, and we're able to do a lot of group work and team building in here, so it's great for the kids too.
And some students we've noticed that were upstairs were really quiet and have blossomed and are able to work with new students or found connections with different teachers, and it's really exciting to see that this environment has opened up their learning opportunities.
I think that's a huge benefit, is that some students connect better with certain adults, and so here you have the opportunity to connect with 4 to 6 different adults instead of having that one teacher in the classroom all day. And I think it's true the other way as well. Teachers get an opportunity to get to know all kids and connect with those that it's just kind of a natural fit for.
And then over here, we have Miss Shatanis' group, and what they are doing is fluency binders. So we're able to differentiate the instruction for them by having all these different spaces. We're also able to have a lot of our paras and interventions in. So if you see in the back corner, a para is able to read one-on-one with students, and that's one of the things we love about the Learning Suite.
I think in the past, one of our concerns was kind of what Jenna mentioned about supporting specific student needs required us to come into a classroom and take kids away from their environment, give them a little dose for 20 minutes and stick them back into their classroom. And we were trying to find a way to make that a much more inclusive process and allowing kids to learn and benefit from other students' strengths and weaknesses. We did visit a school up in Columbia Heights School District and modeled this much like what they are doing up there, as we saw and learned from them what their benefits were for their students and their staff. And it seemed like a great way to solve some of our struggles here.
And I think being a part of this building the last few years, I've seen the model where we pulled students out and they practiced those skills outside of the classroom, and then having the challenge of getting them to apply those skills within the classroom and be confident was a challenge that we faced. And now seeing this in this Learning Suite and being able to have these kids practice those skills in small groups, whether it's with you or one of us, and then having the confidence in the whole group to speak up and share their knowledge or what they just learned in small group time has been a big benefit.
Here's our library. The kids get to share. They call it book shopping, and they get really excited when they get to go book shop during their read to self. And we'll see over here, this is right by David. This is one of our favorite parts. When the kids transition, this is a Z for Z-Bell. So the students know that if they're transitioning to my area, they're going to come stand here, wait at a level 1, and then wait until I introduce them and let them come into my learning space. So that's been very helpful.
We rotate like to stations, or we sometimes we just rotate to our shared reading teacher.
We get to do more activities and different things.
I think one of the things I've noticed is that the level of engagement of all students has really increased. There doesn't seem to be a time when you're walking through the school for which you don't see the great majority of kids on task in this classroom, and I think that's an advantage by having everyone in this together. And I also think it mirrors a lot of what we hear employers want out of the people that they hire. So we're teaching that ability to collaborate and work together at a very young age, and in hopes that they'll carry that through into their adult life and into their career.
I think as a teacher too, it's very successful just from a teacher's standpoint, because we can collaborate together throughout the entire day. It's not just during our prep or anything like that. It's the whole day. We get to talk to each other, bounce ideas off of each other. So as a teacher, it's very beneficial too.
And just the things that Jenna mentioned earlier too, just seeing how some of these kids down here have just blossomed and just grown by making this move, and they were so quiet upstairs, and now they're participating in these collaborative groups throughout the room.
And I think as this is my first year teaching, and what a great opportunity, not just for the students, but for professional development. I've learned so much from the 2 other teachers I teach with, or anybody else that comes in. I'm not on my own island. I'm able to learn and grow, which is going to help the students learn and grow. So I love the collaboration.
I think the first thing that struck me when we walked into the school we were visiting is that teaching many times is such a lonely profession. It's kind of you against the world in your classroom, and that was the thing that struck me the most when we walked into the learning suite up in the cities. Was they are a collaborative group. They are working all day long together, and you get to learn so much from each other, where we used to have to sub out a new teacher a couple of times a year to go watch another teacher, and now you get that benefit all day long. And I think it could help new teachers as well as seasoned teachers. It's a great way to learn new tricks for the trade.
And just going off of that, even while we're teaching the lessons, even though we've planned them beforehand together, while we're teaching, I might be over at my smart board doing something, but then all of a sudden I'll see something on Jenna's board and I'm like, oh, that's a really good way to teach this skill. And we've kind of found that we're even learning from each other different strategies that work in the middle of a lesson while we're teaching.
You can see we have nice little stools. We got these because we're not able to have enough desks. And the students love that they're able to move around, have a clipboard, read to themselves, have a partner. So it's been another nice part of our suite. During this time, the teachers are able to meet with small groups, while every other student's pretty engaged and able to be responsible for their own learning.
We do math, and we have specials. We have science too.
Both classes probably like it down here, because when our old classroom, Miss Shatana's class always came in and it was so crowded.
I think perfecting the learning suite, obviously increased student achievement is the reason why we moved to this in the first place. And I believe that the time and energy that you have put into the learning suite this year will just increase and get better from here on out. I think that the way that you have been able to train kids on the systems and the movement and how you use resources within the room it's only going to be more beneficial for those students moving forward.
We definitely just need to build upon what we've done this year, continue this success, and remain consistent 4 kids.
And just polishing those. I mean, we've set up such great things, and even when I moved into teaching, you guys had such great organization and just polishing it. And as a teacher, we always want to do something better, so there's always something we can improve on for next year. So. And our last learning area here, these students are reading to self. We also allow them to use Raz Kids with our technology. We have our laptops in here. Again, the stools, their schedule, and then 2 more intervention teachers are allowed to come in. Our reading specialist is able to work one-on-one with the students on their journals. And then we have a nice space over here for our special ed teacher to come and service inside of our classroom. Some more comfortable furniture. Again, our letters.
We get to learn more things.
Sometimes we get to do activities, or sometimes they just do it on the smart board.
We get to be creative.
It's sort of hard, but it's kind of funner because we like switch around groups.
I think just that next year we'll be expanding this to our 4th grade, and so we are looking at creating a space now for the 4th graders, because these kids as 3rd graders have become professionals at how to collaborate and move in and out of groupings all day long, and we want to keep that going. So we will do that again next year for the 4th grade suite. So we'll have actually 2 grade levels in the suite, and it'll be interesting to compare strategies, and you'll have great advice for the 4th grade teachers as to what worked and what are things you wish you would have set up differently. And so I think that's an exciting part as we'll continue to go from here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's really interesting just at how we've always looked at education as one room, one teacher, and desks, that it's just exciting to be a part of something so different, because the world is changing and education needs to change with that. And we're setting our kids up for success in life. It's cool to be a part of it. And that is our learning suite.